This demo will show how to scale and segment external web user traffic by routing requests to different private load balancers. This concept is known as nested load balancers. This demo will contain a single VCN with 3 subnets. One subnet will be public and will contain a public load balancer for external requests. This public load balancer will use 2 different private load balancers located in separate private subnets as its backends. Traffic will be delivered to the private load balancers backends, which are web servers, based on URL name, using the URL path routing policy. I use OCI's Resource Manager to quickly deploy my Terraform stack with the available code located on the Oracle Quick Start GitHub page. So I have my front-end public load balancer along with my 2 different back-end load balancers in separate subnets. I click on the front-end load balancer. The first thing we'll need to do is create both our listener followed by the backend set itself. Let's begin with the backend set first. So I'll give my backend set a name. And for this, I'm going to change the health check to use this protocol, TCP port 80, because that's what we're going to connect on. And that's all the backend load balancers will be listening to and be able to respond on is the port. And once that's complete, I'm going to add my backends. So the backends, if you recall, will be the IP addresses of the backend load balancers themselves. Again, connecting over port 80. After a short amount of time, and after the health checks complete their cycles, the backends should appear from a warning to OK healthy status. And notice that my health checks are coming from the private IP address of my front end load balancer itself and not its public IP address. Next, I'll create my listener. Again, I give my listener a name. A protocol will be HTTP port 80. I'm going to select the backend set that just built out, and then I'll create my listener. And once my listener is provisioned, I can now test access to the backend web servers deployed in different subnets. So here's my test name, my.drippingSpringsCoffee.com, and able to reach both websites located on different web servers and different private subnets. And if I refresh the page, notice that I'm being round robin between the 2. Now, if we want to control the Zach web server external users should have access to, we can update this by creating additional backend sets, which I've pre-configured, and within each backend set pointing to the specific backend server, and then creating a routing policy for each web server in question. For my policy, for my rules, I decided to route based on the URL path name. So the host name will be the same, but the path will be different. So path or customer 1 will be sent to the customer 1 web server. Customer 2 will be sent to the customer 2 web server. Once my routing policy is created, all I had to do is go back to my listener and apply the routing policy directly to it. Once completed, we can now go back into my browser and to confirm that I can now be redirected to the appropriate web server depending on the URL path name. So to start, I'll use customer server 1. So customer 1, and the path name. And if I refresh this, I will consistently be sent over to that web server. And now if we need to go to customer 2 web server, just change that and refresh. I'm getting the same successful results.